1925 by Keshav Baliram Hedgewar with the purpose of creating a Hindu unity. Early leaders such as M.S. Golwalkar admired Adolf Hitler and the Nazi movement for steps taken to ensure, quote, the purity of the race and its culture.
Again, this is where context would be very, very important because this is a very serious allegation. But what does John do? John just says the most controversial part and just moves on. So boo RSS and let's move on. So the whole idea that the RSS somehow admired the Nazis comes down to two paragraphs that Guru Golwalkar, one of the leaders of the RSS, wrote in one of his books even before he became leader of the RSS. So a Belgian Indologist named Konrad Els has done fantastic work on debunking this whole narrative around RSS and the Nazis and that somehow the RSS loved the Nazis. Golwalkar does not once talk about the Nazis or Hitler in his book. What he did praise was the national pride in Germany, much before anybody really found out what the Germans were doing to the Jews. The great British hero Winston Churchill also expressed admiration for Germany before the Second World War. Guru Golwalkar in fact hated the brutality that the Germans showed to the Jews, and he said that it was in stark contrast to Hindu principles. In fact, RSS leaders and a lot of Hindu leaders have often shown a lot of affection and affinity to the Jewish people and the Jewish cause because they see similarities in the struggles and the story of the Jewish people to the struggles in the story of the Hindu people. When people talk about RSS supporting nationalists in Europe, they supported people like Giuseppe Mazzini, someone who was instrumental in the unification of Italy. And that's a dream that they aim to emulate for India as they want to see a united India. And some of the controversial comments that he made in his earlier book was something that Guru Golwalkar even disowned when he became leader of the RSS, and he even took the book out of circulation that he wrote himself. He himself said that he had evolved from the views that he had written when he was younger. And even Mohan Bhagwat, the current head of the RSS, said plainly that some of the things said by Golwalkar in the context of partition and Hindu-Muslim violence was simply not relevant today. Now, when you look at the entire picture, when you look at the entire story, it adds a lot of context to the story. But again, John is not interested in providing this broad context. He's only interested in providing the most gasp-worthy parts of the story, just so you can paint a democratically elected leader of a country in as terrible of a light as possible.